Hello and welcome to the LA Dolce Vita podcast. Hollywood journeys from couch surfing to the Walk of Fame and anything in between. My name is Liliana. I'm the mom and the hostess of this podcast. And here with me today, an LA girl who happens to be an opera singer, originally from Chicago with Greek roots. Let's welcome Anastasia or Anastasia Malliaras.
Hello.
Anastasia.
Thank you for having me, Liliana.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't we look at a little video to showcase your work and incredible voice and skills?
Okay.
Let's watch it. I would like to start your journey with something that I read on your Instagram. I don't know if you wrote it. I wanna read it. It says.
Did it age well?
It says, "Tell me why you ran away from home. Why you traded a life of love and comfort for one of loneliness and uncertainty. Tell me of your pain and your vices and your mistakes. Guide me to the darkest corners of your mind and leave me there that I may befriend your shadows. Tell me what life would have spared you from if you have never run away, or conversely, what running away may have saved you from." Did you write it?
I did write that.
Oh
wow,
my God.
I was really in my
Okay.
feelings.
Well, no, then you are an opera singer and a writer.
I do love writing. I really enjoy writing.
I can tell.
Yeah.
So tell me why you ran away from home. When did you run to Hollywood? 'Cause
I moved here. It will be 10 years in August. Yeah. So 10 years. Yeah. So I always knew that I wanted to move. From Chicago. I thought it would be New York because, you know, it's the stereotypical musician moving to New York, living in, you know, the New York hustle.
Yes, yeah.
But, you know, the winds of life sometimes blow you in a different direction that you don't really expect. So I ended up in Los Angeles. And I mean, I did kind of feel like I was running away because I left everything behind. I left my family. I mean, it was definitely like a nice, comfortable life. Like, I was living in my parents' house. I was working at my parents' restaurant.
What tell us a little bit about your family, and how you grew up and how you got into music. So your family owns a restaurant,
Yes.
a Greek restaurant.
It's not a Greek restaurant. It's a Chicago deep dish pizzeria.
A pizzeria. Okay.
Have you ever
where
had
is it?
Chicago style pizza?
No, and I've never been to Chicago either.
Okay.
Although I was married for a while to someone from Chicago,
Okay.
and I'm very curious. So, what's the Chicago pizza?
It's not really a pizza. Like anything you know about pizza, it's not that. So
And
it's
I'm
actually
Italian,
like
so I know a lot about pizza.
It's like a thick pie.
Ah, nice.
It's almost like it's more like a pie than a pizza.
So you grew up as the daughter of restaurant owners,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
And you were working?
I was working in the restaurant.
From
yeah.
what age?
I started working there pretty young. I used to love going to work with my dad. Yeah, so I started maybe like 13 years old, and I would go put the like bread rolls on the tray and put them in the oven and then seat people. I loved going to work with my dad.
With your dad as restaurant hostess and baker.
Yeah.
And by that age, were you already into music?
Yes. So my musical journey started.
Yeah. When did it start?
Yeah, I was very young. I was probably about, I don't even remember, so young. I listened to your podcast with Brittany, and you asked her, do you even remember your life without dance?
No, and you don't remember your life without music.
Absolutely
But
not,
then
yeah.
who did start you, your mom?
So my mom's father is a self-taught musician, and he's from Greece. They're, I guess you would call them shepherds. Like he had sheep and olive trees.
Wow.
Yeah. So I grew up very close with them, and he would teach me all of the traditional songs and
folk songs of
yes,
Greece.
folk songs. And that's really how I started to fall in love with music, or that was at least my first introduction to it.
And then you remember yourself being already in class.
And then there was a woman in the neighborhood that I grew up in, Miss Elena. Miss Elena, shout out to you. You are my first piano teacher and a huge inspiration. I've been so lucky my whole life to have amazing musical teachers,
So
mentors.
Your grandfather, Miss Elena.
Yes.
Russian.
So, Lithuanian.
Lithuanian.
So we
You
started piano lessons.
yeah.
And then I just took such a liking to music, and I started singing lessons, and then, as time went on, I would play in the orchestra in school and choir and musicals. I was just...
But when did you find out that you had that voice that we saw in the introduction video?
More like an operatic singing voice?
Or that voice, like that stunning voice, and that. When did you realize? Like, did Miss Elena right away and understand like she's a great pianist, like Anastasia is a great pianist, or she's a great singer, or it's something that at some point, when did you become aware of it?
I don't even fully remember. I don't know if I had seen an opera singer on TV. I didn't grow up going to the opera. My parents, when I told them I'm going to study opera, my dad said, "What's opera?" It was just, I don't really know how it came about. I think I probably saw something on TV, but I was always drawn to more like the theatrical side of it and the drama. And probably in high school. I had a voice teacher, and she introduced me to some Italian art songs.
Yeah, but that's hard. Like, and you could do it. That's how it works. Like, because I know if you introduce me to some I speak Italian, but if you introduce me to some Italian operatic song, I know I cannot do it. And instead, you were introduced it. Just how I'm curious. How does that happen?
Like sometimes when you're in voice lessons, the teachers will present you with different repertoire.
Okay.
So I think that's just how it happened. And because I did grow up speaking Greek and going to Greek school, I think I was comfortable speaking and learning other languages. So I wasn't really afraid to try singing in Italian. Yeah.
But what about the vocal extension? You tried and you came out?
No. I mean, it was
that's
very,
what.
yeah,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because the Italian is the thing, but again, the vocal extension that.
Oh no, that definitely takes a ton of training.
So by age like 16, when you were introduced to the first opera, you already knew you had the range.
No, but the potential was there. Yeah, the potential was there. Yeah, like I could sing pretty much in tune.
Okay.
I liked the music. I had a pretty extensive range for my age. So, yeah, the potential was there.
The potential was there. And is that 16 like a good age to transition from the potential to pre-professional to professional, or it's late, it's early? How does it work? because I'm very ignorant about all these things.
I'm so bad with that kind of stuff too,
Oh,
because I'm very
wow.
much like everything happens on its own timeline, and you know, I truly believe like if you want to learn something, it's never too late, it's never too early.
Oh wow! Because I started piano at 42, and I did my first little concert.
See? Yeah, it's never too
but
late.
I thought it's pathetic.
No, not at all.
I
not
did
at
my
all.
first performance last December after 2 years of piano in college.
Congratulations!
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
I will let you hear it, but
Yeah.
you'll feel embarrassed. But and it
No,
was
no.
so it's never too late. So 16 is not too late, too early to
No,
start with
I don't think so.
voice. It was good because it gives you the time to become a professional.
Exactly,
The earliest, the best.
I think so, and also everybody's journey is so different. And I was so lucky to. My mom really encouraged me to take lessons, and she really encouraged me to practice, forced me to practice.
I understand. Practice is hard. I love the piano, but it's hard because it takes a lot out of you. I was thinking about it last night. I was scrolling on my phone. I was like, why are you scrolling on your phone rather than practicing the piano? And I had to give myself the answer, very simple answer, because I'm tired.
I'm tired. Yes,
that's why. Yeah, because it takes a lot out of you.
It does.
So how many hours were you encouraged to practice?
Oh, well, it was so different. Like practicing also, as I'm sure you've learned, is a completely different skill than performing.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I would start as a kid, you know, practicing a couple minutes, you know. And then as I went on to high school, I had an amazing piano teacher, again, Mrs. Betty Schieber. Hello. And what I learned from Mrs. Schieber, which was incredible and a skill that I still carry today, even though I'm not a pianist, I don't consider myself a pianist anymore, is she really taught me the skill of practicing and how to practice properly.
How?
Like isolating different sections of music and turning on the metronome and going from the slowest possible clicks that you could play it, and then slowly increasing the tempo.
That's what I do with my scales.
Exactly.
So I was taught well.
Yes, you were. Even if it's just 2 clicks at a time. And that practice skill, I've brought it into singing. So if there's some really difficult passages, I'll just isolate them, turn on my metronome, start painfully slow, and then increase the tempo.
You know what I was taught in piano class as well, to start from the last measure instead of the first one, because you may end up playing the same measures over and over again if you go back to the first one. So when you understand you're stuck there, go to the last one and learn in reverse, which is also great for memorization, because your brain gets really challenged, and then when you memorize it, it's like the exact sequence comes easy because you memorized it even in reverse.
That's funny that you say that, because I do like to learn difficult pieces that way. Like if it's an entire opera or an oratorio, I like to start from the last section, because you're right, you practice the first part way more.
And then the last one, which is the finale.
You forgot about it. Yeah,
so you do it. Yeah, so I was taught well if someone like you kind of does the same. And it also kind of kills the anxiety that you will never get to the end.
Exactly.
Because there is that anxiety when you get stuck on the first measures, the first pages, and it's like, will I ever get to the end before the performance? So you, at some point, you get to the end and you start from there. So you know the end, which also gives probably, I don't know, I'm just saying, but I asking because I shouldn't talk, you know, I don't have enough experience. But I noticed that when I get familiar with the end, it kind of gives me more awareness of what I want to do in the middle part, because I know where this journey should ends, and that gives me more depth for the beginning and the middle.
Absolutely, it definitely helps to shape your dramatic interpretation.
Yes, to shape the dramatic interpretation.
Because you know the direction of where it has to go.
Yes, and how you want to end, because it's an end written there, but you can do it in your own way, and then yes, so that's very good. So you started studying like that, very professionally.
Yes.
And from there, so you were going to high school in Chicago. You were in high school. You were taking your music program. There was there a specific music program in your high school, or
Yes. My high school actually had a wonderful music program.
the beauty of America? In
yes.
Italy, we don't have these beautiful things. But please go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to have a wonderful music program. I mean, I was in orchestra from 4th grade all the way until my senior year of high school.
yeah.
So, which I learned other lessons in orchestra, even though I wasn't as good at practicing violin as I was piano. I just didn't have the same maybe love for the instrument and structure for practicing, but I loved playing music in a big group. So I really learned the art of playing with an ensemble and making music and being just one part of a whole.
That's everything. I was talking to a friend of mine, Simone Sello. I use his music for the promo videos of this podcast on Instagram. He plays with also famous rock stars like Vasco Rossi.
Ah, okay,
Yeah?
the party, yeah.
So Simone, I was telling him when I finally got to play in an ensemble, I did my piano concert with another person. It was a 4-hands piece. And when I told him, it's very hard to play with someone else, but I feel like now I have it. And he looked at me and it's like, that's the final goal of a musician. It's like,
Absolutely.
that's it. Because it's the point. You need to, and it's apparently an important skill.
It is
so
the most important skill.
He said, that's the point. So you agree with Simone?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you're not making music by yourself on a regular basis. You need other people to collaborate with. Yeah.
Well, I'm so narcissistic that although I started piano at 42, my only idea was me walking on stage with the piano, and that's it, and never have to deal with anyone.
No, that's not narcissistic. I mean, sometimes as singers we think that too. It's all about me.
Yeah. why do I have to, to vote her to?
No.
But and by the way, it's a lot of fun, and I'm discovering as a pianist that because I started so late, I actually need 2 other hands because I sound so much better if someone is accompanying me. So it's great to have a whole orchestra behind or other people. You can use them to make you sound better.
Yes,
Although you sound better even by yourself.
Thank you.
But anyway, so you learned those great skills in high school.
Yes.
So when high school was over, was that the time when you decided, okay, now I want to go and, try to be professional, or how did it go?
So I was applying for college for music. I was planning to study music, so I would make my college applications, but also create my audition videos because you have to audition for music school.
Like dance.
So you have to audition for dance. Yeah. So my high school voice teacher was helping me to create my audition repertoire so I can go to these colleges and audition. And
And you did go to 2 colleges, right?
Yeah. I went to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign for my bachelor's, which there I met one of the most influential teachers of my whole life. Again, another amazing mentor, Miss Cynthia Heyman. Cynthia, I would literally not be able to sing without you. So thank you. Yes, I mean, that I feel like my life has been the definition of, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I was really, really ready to learn how to sing and understand my technique and just learn about the craft of singing opera. And then along came Cynthia.
What did Cynthia Heyman bring to the table specifically?
Oh, I mean, she had such a holistic approach to music. And it wasn't just about me as a singer, it was about me as a person and getting to know myself as an artist and what I had to say. So not only did we work very diligently on technique, she really kind of forced me to get to know myself and self-reflect, and that's something I really hadn't done too much up until that point. So
yeah, especially for opera, because we'll talk about this, but when it comes to be Despina, Panina, Gilda, Nannetta, Olimpia, the female protagonists of these major operas by Verdi, by Mozart, I think it's really important to know yourself so that you can shape your interpretation and decide what to give of yourself to these characters and make them unique, because these are characters, female characters that have been played over and over and over again, and unless you want to be the copy of someone else, it's very important that you know yourself and how you relate to these women.
Exactly.
And what kind of Despina, Panina you want to
and
be.
You get to
right?
infuse your own personality into these characters. Like you said, they've been played thousands of times throughout history.
Yeah.
So.
And what did you discover then about yourself in those years, in relation to these characters, in relation to yourself, those college years? If there's one thing that stands out of your self-discovery, what is that thing?
That's a great question. I have to think about that one.
Think about
it.
20-year-old Anastasia, if you envision her.
She seems so naive.
That's a good one.
20-year-old self. Yeah.
Well, but naive is actually a word that comes out if you look up someone like
Gilda?
Panina,
Gilda
Gilda.
is
It's really
naive.
like naive. And then she kills herself.
She does, for
the Duke. For the Duke of Mantua.
Yeah.
And there was another one that I remember. She was the quintessence chastity Nannetta.
And then she
young
had a
woman
little
in
secret
love.
boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
of course, I find myself in all of these characters because, I was a teenager and,
and also the Spina, like a little bit of disguise.
the mischievousness. Of course I see myself in
but
those characters.
when you look back maybe at those college years, so then when you look back at that girl now, Anastasia, then the naivete of those years, right?
That, and I will say I always had like a sense of like playfulness and curiosity.
Nice.
And I hope I maintain that
It's
until now,
it's
because
a
I think
good
it's
statement.
important.
I hope you maintain that, because especially in Hollywood, and here we talk about Hollywood journeys, I think it's very easy to lose your juju, as my orthodontist said once. Juju, she introduced me to the word juju. She said it's very easy to lose your juju.
It is, yes. And of course there are moments where I've lost it, but it is recoverable. And I feel like when you do recover it, it comes back even stronger because you know what it takes to get it back.
That's such a beautiful thing that I think all Hollywood dreamers can write down, because once you lose it, you may feel like it's for good, and instead, no, it is recoverable, and once you recover it, it can come back even stronger than before.
Absolutely.
And talking about it, moving a little bit fast forward in Hollywood, so you decide to come to Hollywood. Then we'll get into details when and where, but there was a time maybe here in Hollywood, in your Hollywood journey, where you felt like you lost your juju.
Oh, of course. Of course. It's kind of when you're like lost in the hustle of trying to just survive. Yeah. And on top of that, I moved here when I was about 22 years old. I was lonely, I was scared, I was broke, I know. So, and I didn't really have the time or the tools to like self-reflect on those feelings. So, you get past those first couple years of survival, and then, you finally feel like you're standing on your 2 feet, and then you have to deal with those feelings that you've been suppressing for so long, or hiding from, or not really knowing what they were. So
so you came to Hollywood right off the naivete
Of college.
the college Anastasia.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's continue from there. So you
Okay.
graduate.
So I graduate, and then the summer after I graduated, I came to Los Angeles for a summer opera program.
Okay.
And I completely fell in love with Los Angeles. I thought, oh my God, I have to do whatever I can to move out of my parents' house.
Whatever I can.
And get here. And just live my life and grow as a person. There wasn't really any like a specific like goal to have. It was like, okay, I know I want to be a singer. I know I'm good, and I know I have the drive and determination to do it.
What made you fall in love with Los Angeles that summer in the summer program?
I think that it was just so different from where I grew up. It was
Chicago.
so different from Chicago. And I think I just saw the opportunity here of I can move here and live as a musician and be a musician. So I can't really speak to the music scene in Chicago so much because
You moved out
yeah,
here
I moved so
early.
young.
Yeah.
So
but you felt this opportunity, maybe also in the air, in the weather.
Yeah,
in
the weather, of course.
Artists,
Yes,
and
so many
lots
artists
of musicians.
here.
And you wanted to be a musician, like opera singer, or you thought I'm an opera singer, but I can sing whatever. I want to be in a rock band.
I definitely was strictly opera.
Strictly opera.
The idea that I could sing anything really came to me like recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It was strictly opera. That was your major,
Yeah.
your degree, and I'm an opera singer. And what did you envision, like Los Angeles, like the LA Opera, or what did you envision back then?
So I actually, when I went to that opera
yes.
program, I was connected with a voice teacher at USC. Another amazing mentor, Shigemi Matsumoto. Maestra Shigemi. She's an amazing teacher. And I credit Shigemi for getting me out here because I auditioned at USC, which is a very, very competitive voice program.
Okay.
And she helped me to get a scholarship, and thank you, Shigemi. Yeah, so
well deserved.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So you came here for that to study at USC.
Yes, I did my master's at USC.
Master as an opera singer.
Yes.
And that was 2 years.
Yeah, that was 2 years.
And how were those 2 years of master? You said it was a lot of
wild.
Wild.
Yeah, because you're dealing with moving to LA.
Yes.
And like I said, like just the survival here.
Yes. Did you find roommates? Where were you living? What
I was
side?
in Koreatown.
Koreatown.
Yeah.
That was wild 10 years ago, Koreatown. I
Yeah.
remember I helped a friend to move in and move out from a studio in Koreatown.
Yeah,
so
it's still pretty crazy. I still live in Koreatown, but in a more calm
soft
area.
And now it's getting better and better
Yeah.
with new buildings, but it could
Yeah.
be challenging at night to park your car, find the spot.
Yeah.
And, So Koreatown, by yourself or
Koreatown,
with someone?
By myself. I was pretty adamant about wanting to be by myself. From a kid, I had this super independent streak.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to live by myself. I don't want to deal with roommates. I mean, I had just finished college. I had roommates in college.
Okay, that was enough.
Yeah, I mean,
so Los
and
Angeles, you found the studio, something.
Yeah, and I, you know how it is. You're working all these weird, odd jobs just to.
Can we know some jobs that, because you were in a full-time, how many hours were you at USC during the master?
The master's program, honestly, it really wasn't that intense.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was top quality, but not time consuming.
I wouldn't say the program is a whole. No, I had an amazing teacher, and I was in the opera, so that's what I wanted. Like
Perfect.
I got roles and experience, but like as a all-around music education, it wasn't like the best music education
Okay,
ever. Sorry,
interesting.
USC.
Yeah, that's okay. I love
Yeah.
Santa Monica College where I go. Sometimes here I talk
Yeah.
about the highs and the lows. There's nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but people say you go to USC for the connections, and that is absolutely true.
Okay,
Yeah. So
perfect.
because the people that I met there really helped me to get my first gigs in Los Angeles.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Big thing.
And
yeah.
without those smaller gigs, the bigger gigs wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't have happened. So it was fundamental.
Absolutely.
But what jobs were you doing during those 2 years? I want to know. I did any kind of job. No, not any. But,
Oh, you know, like serving jobs. I had.
I may go back.
Yeah, I had in Chicago. I was like a Miller Lite girl.
What's
you know
that?
those girls that go to the bars and have the beer and give away free beer?
Ah, okay, I did that. Well, back in the day in Italy, I was going on tour, summer tour. But they're beautiful girls, by the way. Some of them beautiful models, and then you go to the club at night.
Exactly.
With the Pampero. You're the Pampero girl, and you. I did that. Oh, so you're ashamed of that?
No,
too.
I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's just so funny to look back. I mean,
that.
Yeah.
Bacardi, Pampero.
All of those, all of those, like all the liquor brands.
And I don't even drink
You're
that
in
much.
Same, me neither.
Yes, but I get it.
Yeah.
I remember those nights.
Yeah, but you're in the clubs and bars until late at night, wearing heels, and then going to school the next day. It was rough, but but it did give me a sense of like independence and freedom because the money is pretty good.
Yes,
the money is pretty good.
Yeah, I worked in Los Angeles as hostess for 15 years, and I met some ballerinas doing it, all kinds of artists, and the Pampero thing happened in Italy in summer tours. Yeah, so you did it here. Okay, that's self-supporting.
Of course,
independent, self-supporting.
Yeah, I've always loved working and making my own money from a young kid. So for me, it was kind of like second nature to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, as sometimes I think I may go back.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean, I think I understood from a young age that money equals independence.
Yes,
so
it really does.
If you're making your own money and paying your own bills and paying for everything, no one can tell you what to do, which is a huge sense of freedom.
I know.
Yeah.
I married that. Actually, I married that to a dangerous point.
It's a spectrum.
To the point where I legitimate stealing also in order to, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But when I think within myself, I'm like, how far would you go in order? And I would go far because I've been to the point where I may have given up my freedom because of that, and it's not a good place to be. And also when I project myself as an older woman, I'm like, how are we gonna do it? So, and that's when weird ideas come in. So anything for that independence, girl.
Yeah,
even
I
murder.
Yeah, it's definitely a spectrum. Yeah, you have to stay balanced because it's very easy to keep going. Like, how far can I go to make
in
more?
order to make more and know that I won't depend on anyone. But I talk freely about it because I know myself very well, so I don't even have problems fantasizing about stealing or murdering for money because I know I never did it. And then let's be honest, we already talked with someone else, a ballerina, about it in this program. Here in Los Angeles, you see people who don't steal or murder, but they just marry for a couple of years, a guy who's 3 times your age. Yeah. And then, they get the check at the end.
Exactly.
So that's when I'm like, I feel free to fantasize about stealing and murdering because I'm like, they do it. You fantasize about it, they do it. Because, a marriage, when then you break someone's heart and go away with the check, and I see it a lot. Yeah. So without judgment, by the way, if you're a gold digger, you did it. Good for you that you found the right one to do it. But let's be real. We see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were working, and then you said that you found your first gigs. And what were them, and how did it go from there?
Actually, one of the first ones was at American Contemporary Ballet.
Oh,
yes!
Wow, that's a nice company.
Yeah,
I know ballerinas there, and I had 2 girls here as guests who were ballerinas with the company, and I know another one, Maddie, that I will invite. So how was that?
I mean, it was, first of all, like the first cool. I mean, it's a cool gig.
It's a
yeah,
cool
it's a
gig,
cool
yeah.
gig. So that was like my first really cool gig in LA.
wow.
And it was because I met the music director at the time, Aline, at USC. And they needed a singer for a show because something I really admire about that company is they always have live orchestra, live musicians.
Yes. Yeah.
So they needed a singer, and I was like, yeah, of course. yeah, and that was it.
And that was a nice experience.
Yeah, and I worked for them for about 7 seasons.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And from there, what else happened? Like what other?
So just different gigs with orchestras, with opera companies, I was building.
Suk?
Daniel Suk. I was
Dream
just starting.
Orchestra of Los Angeles.
Yes, Daniel. I did Messiah with him and some other gigs with him.
Messiah is the Christmas mass in downtown.
Yes, we did it at the Our Lady of the Angels Cathedral.
That's a good one, where the whole Skid Row also comes. Some people from
really?
Skid.
I didn't know that.
Well, I heard of the Messiah because when I was working with Hollywood Ballet, I organized their outreach program in Skid Row.
Okay.
And that's when I was there one day in Skid Row, the director of Skid Row mentioned the Messiah.
Okay.
And I thought, and she said that some members of Skid Row are invited. Yeah, so it's a big.
Yeah, it was a big performance, beautiful cathedral. It's full orchestra. So I just throughout the years started building my freelance career, and then COVID happened. All the gigs got canceled, so I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
How did you do during COVID? Because it was like a couple of years, right?
Yeah, so then I realized I had to pivot, so I started getting into recording work and session work. And started doing like remote recordings.
Yeah, let's talk about it because online I found beautiful work. Let me find some. Well, first of all, I really liked, and I didn't expect, you did also a collaboration with this guy, Clive Vaz.
Oh, yeah.
And I love to meditate. And there is this song, Dissolved, where you just sing the...
Yeah, it's like a meditation
the tune. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Dissolve and Clouds by Clive Vaz on Spotify. I really like that song, especially Dissolve. Is that one of the projects you started during COVID? Or
Yes. Yeah. So I don't remember.
It's like meditating with the voice of an angel, and she's the angel, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that when did that happen? That was during COVID, and I remember recording that in my bathroom.
No.
Yes, I had my microphone, and I put all the towels and blankets around so I wouldn't have an echo. And
I thought you were singing from the sky. Now I know it's from the bathroom.
Yeah, it was from my bathroom. Sorry, Juliana. Yeah, it was from my bathroom. I have a cute bathroom though, so yeah.
Because I go when I listen to that song, and it's like an angel.
Yeah.
And you fly away.
And that was kind of like my first realization when I was like, whoa, I can use my voice for other projects, because you go to school, and I don't blame the teachers at all because they grew up in a completely different world than we're living in now. But we're definitely taught, like, okay, you study opera, you graduate, and then you go become an apprentice in an opera company.
Yes.
That's usually...
Which you also did at the Mississippi Opera, right?
No, I was at Central City Opera. I was an apprentice and Opera Theater of St. Louis.
Okay.
But, that's like the traditional trajectory.
Yes.
And I realized, like, first of all, I'm going to be broke if I do that. Like, you can't make money doing that.
Because you don't make any money as an apprentice.
No, you make money, but it's just not a lot. And
especially
also,
for an independent girl like us.
Yeah, like, I have this skill, and I'm living in this city where there's so many incredible artists. I could use it in a way that no one is using it. So that's when I started realizing that I could collaborate with artists of different genres and different mediums also, like dance. Yes. And
create work and recording work and stage performances using your voice for operatic work, but also for other genres.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very smart. And so we Dissolved and Clouds with Clive Vaz. I really like.
Yeah.
One other recording work of yours that I really liked was the Vittoria Colonna with Giacomo Cataldo.
Oh, another set recorded in my bathroom.
Okay, this is really funny because I did my work. Vittoria Colonna was the first Italian female poet during the Renaissance.
Yes.
Okay, and she wrote beautiful
She did, yes.
poems that you sing beautifully.
Thank you.
So from like Firenze, the castle in Firenze to the bathroom,
Yeah.
but it works. Like, you know, LA, this is Hollywood. That's how
Yeah,
we make it.
exactly.
So you recorded that in the bathroom as well.
Yes, so this composer Giacomo, he
Sì.
reached out to me and said, okay, I have these pieces and they're poems by
Vittoria Colonna.
Colonna, yeah. And I composed these pieces based on her poems. I need a singer, and there was like 5 pieces.
Yeah, and by the way, shout out to Giacomo Cataldo because
Absolutely.
that was genius to use Vittoria Colonna's poetry as the text.
Yes. Yeah.
For an opera, and it marries the style, the singing style of the opera, because her writing, because of the time,
Yeah.
And also the content, she's very high. Perfectly matches a soprano and that genre. So he was good.
Yeah, he's an amazing composer.
Yeah.
And the pieces were really difficult, so it really took me a while to learn them and put them together and record them. And what was amazing is that when I finished recording them, he really wanted to have a video recording. And those are probably the ones you found on YouTube, maybe.
No.
No? Okay. There's beautiful videos of these on
Okay,
YouTube.
we're gonna watch some.
Yeah. And Aline, who was the one that originally hired me for the American Contemporary Ballet, I asked her to play the piano on those pieces. She's an incredible pianist. So we were able to collaborate together, and
Or maybe
yeah.
they are the ones I found. Well, I'm gonna find them.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch.
Okay.
So Giacomo, that's a great job. Really
Yeah,
great. It's a
thank
great
you.
album.
Yeah.
And Vittoria Colonna. Actually, through you, I discovered Vittoria Colonna, and I wonder why. In Italy, in my education, in my literary education, since I had a very high-end literary education in high school, Vittoria Colonna was never mentioned. That tells me how patriarchal was the society I grew up in, because she's iconic,
Yeah.
and her poems are good, and you sing them really, really well.
Thank
And they made sure in Italy that I knew everything about Dante Alighieri and all the males.
Yeah.
But poor Vittoria Colonna was never mentioned. So I grew up convinced that there's no such thing as a woman poet or a woman writer. Yeah.
yeah, and she has amazing poems. And something
Amazing.
that I like to do also is when I'm presented with a new work, I really like to understand the history of it and what it took to create that work. So I like to know about the poet. So I got some books about her life. I can give you them if you like. Yeah, they're amazing books, and they talk about her life and how she did kind of live in the shadow of her husband.
Wasn't it that he died and then she became sort of a nun?
Yes.
So she was, that made me reflect when I read it yesterday or the other day, because that's a typical thing that as a woman in a patriarchal society you do. Because he apparently was not a saint. He was also unfaithful and anything, but he died and she kept loving him and idolizing him, and which is good, because that's how she wrote those
beautiful
poems. But she kind of spent the rest of her life idolizing and idealizing this man who was not even that great of a husband.
And she would always refer to him as the sun. Like, so in a lot of these poems, she'll talk about the sun, and it's a direct reference to him.
Yeah. Also a very high spirit theme, like, and you can feel a lot of spirit. She had a high spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think maybe as a modern woman, when you feel that there's the high spirit around, it's your own high spirit and not your ex-husband. But
Yeah, we tend to project
Yeah, to
our own
project,
selves
yeah.
on the men we date, right?
Yeah, and in her poetry I could
Yeah.
tell, but it's good. Whatever inspires you. But maybe
Yeah.
these days with the new generations, it's when you feel the presence of a high spirit. Maybe it's God or you, not necessarily your dead lover who was even unfaithful.
Yeah.
But relation. But love is a great inspiration.
It is. It is the best
something-
inspiration.
The best. Something
Yeah.
changes at hormonal level. I don't know, and the
Yeah.
spirit. Well, whatever.
But you're right. It's something within you, and
Yeah.
like how you're experiencing the world.
Absolutely, yeah. Which is also the essence of an artist, a
Yes.
singer, a writer. I found out a little bit later, but I thought too. That's why I related to Vittoria, that the men were kind
Yeah.
of the source of. No, it's me. I am the source, and not them. Although God bless them, and will.
We love them still.
We'll. By the way, how's the Hollywood dating? How like how was it? You came here young.
Yeah, I came here young. I didn't really care about dating when I first moved here. I just cared about like making money,
Opera.
going to school, and getting work. But now it's like not the best, not the worst. Yeah.
Maybe it's not even the Hollywood dating scene. I should rephrase the question like, how's for a woman like you, very independent, very beautiful, and very talented, do you feel men are scared of your independence and immense talent?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of really amazing and successful men here.
Nice.
And
Good to know.
yeah, I think so. They're out there. At least this is what I'm telling myself.
Or you're telling yourself or you met them? I need to know. This is
No, I've met
information
some really
for a friend.
great
This
guys.
is information for
Yeah.
a friend.
I've met some really great guys. But I'm also learning that I'm a little bit of the problem too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of the problem.
In what terms are you the problem? Like, what did you find out?
Just
Because I might be the same problem, so I'm learning.
yeah, I think I'm the problem. I definitely do project myself onto people instead of really getting to know who they are. Yeah.
I do that all the time. A guy I really was dying for even told me, I'm an illusion.
Yeah.
And I still like him. But he told me I'm an illusion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he
heavy.
knew that I was not even seeing him. I was just projecting.
Yeah, because you're so full of love that,
So
see
you do
somebody-
it
yeah,
too.
I do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's...
Yeah.
And how do we overcome that?
I don't know. I think to just slow down and, I don't know, have the skill of trying to really get to know a man.
Do you think it's also maybe getting to know ourselves even better? So round two
course.
after college,
Yeah, of
maybe
course.
even that.
Yeah.
And to know the man, to see
Yeah.
who they really are.
Yeah, and sometimes I think I just get so excited
Yeah.
and you want to move quickly
Yeah.
and then you don't really see the person for who they are until like a couple of months down the line. And then you start seeing who they really are.
And it's a disappointment.
Yeah. So I think just for me personally to take things slower and
Actually, you said 2 months, and a person who helps me, guides me in some of my affairs, she said to not have sex with anyone. Not that I don't even date, so I'm not giving away my sexual life because I don't even date, so I don't do it. But in case, not for the first 8 weeks. 2
I've
months.
heard that also.
You
Yeah.
heard that,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
don't just get your coffee, get your lunch,
Yeah, and
get
just
your
really take
dinner.
things slow.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
talk to them. Especially as we get older, there is not even the pressure of the hormones or when you're young. Oh, but how can I do? There's such an attraction between us. When you get older, what can I do? I don't even. It's a miracle if I'm alive. My hormones are all dead, so that helps me to really look. Yeah.
I feel like I'm 18.
Okay, good. I should talk about myself then. But it's good to take those 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Even if you are 18, it's good. And actually, if you even feel like you are 18, it's even better because another person who helped me in many of my affairs explained me that as women, we tend to bond physically with the man the same way the mother bonds with the baby. So it's a better idea to keep a physical distance so that this physical bonding through hormones doesn't kick in too early. Otherwise, you literally take someone from the street and
Become their mother.
and become their mother. No, don't do that. Yeah. So that's what I learned. Yeah.
And I think also as women, we just have such naturally nurturing spirits that you find a man and you're like, oh my God, I could take care of him and be his mother.
Yeah,
and I was listening to something the other day, and it was actually a podcast, and she's like, no, men don't need a mother.
No,
a child needs a mother.
Exactly. Yeah. Even because then you either raise a child but who takes everything out of you, or you get tired of being their mother, or they run away and look for a girlfriend.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you say there are interesting and successful men.
Yeah, of course there are. Yeah.
Okay, I'll...
You gotta look out for them too.
Yeah, that's a job.
It is a job. Yeah, dating is a job.
It's a Hollywood
Dating
job.
is a
It's
job.
another. It's a job.
Yeah.
So the job that again I'm not right now. I'm not taking on because I found I need to raise the art. The artistic child in me. That's why
the inner
the inner child and the inner artist. So that I picked up the piano. I have this podcast. So no dating. But if I think about dating, I would see it as a job. Yeah.
It does feel a little bit like a job.
Yeah, because now these days, one of my friends, Dario, who I met in college, he explained me that you don't meet people at the coffee shop, you go on the app because, I mean, for my generation, it's weird. Only the weirdos go on the app. He explained me, no, only the weirdos go to a coffee shop and think that you can hit on people and be hit because they don't give you the consent at the coffee shop. So you go on the app, and then there's all that scrolling and those. It's a job that is not exciting for me.
No, and it is overwhelming. And you're right though. When people approach you in public, there is like something weird about it these days. But it wasn't like that before.
No, it was the way.
Yeah,
it
especially
was the only
if you
way.
grew up pre-apps.
That's exactly how I grew up.
Yeah,
you go
same.
to the cafes, friends of friends,
Exactly.
the club. That's how you meet people.
Yes, I used to meet so many people out, like in Chicago.
Yeah, me too.
And then when I moved to LA, that was kind of like the beginning of the apps. And I was so against it at first. I was super against the apps at first. And now I'm like, you know what?
It's the only way.
Yeah, and so many of my friends have met their boyfriends online. I'm like,
their
okay, I have to be
spouses.
open to it. And also, just because I'm online doesn't close me off to the possibility of meeting somebody in real life. Because I still do meet a lot of people in real life.
Don't you find that being a Hollywood girl and in the app era is isolating though, because now you are home alone with your phone scrolling through pictures and texting strangers?
It's so weird. Yeah, it's definitely something like a hurdle I had to get past. Yeah, and also I don't really spend too much time on the apps. I try, to keep it limited. Yeah, and
that's
if I
a
don't,
good tip. Just give yourself like one.
Yeah, like a few
limited
minutes.
time.
Like I'm not scrolling all day.
Yeah.
And if I see that it's not really going anywhere, or the guy's not going to ask me out, I obviously don't take it personally because first of all, it's a stranger.
And stranger. Don't even know if that picture corresponds to a real person.
Speaking of that, I did get catfished a couple weeks ago.
Whoa.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten catfished?
No, because I don't do it. Please tell me so I know.
So
Catfish. What's catfish?
It's when you meet up with somebody and they're they don't really look like their pictures online.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I won't give away like the details of this person, but all
I'm sure
gonna
you're
say,
very graceful about it. I would imagine myself being just very graceful and just get through the
Yeah.
coffee with the face like.
And he was so nice. He was such a gentleman. We went to a nice dinner, but
Yes.
I saw him and I'm like, oh my God, you're literally like
Nothing
10
like
years
that.
older in real life than you were in your photos.
Okay, so it was just the age or also in the overall vibe and somatic traits?
Yeah, he didn't look
like that
I mean,
person.
you could tell that it was the same person, but he looked very,
Very
very different. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Let me have fun. Let me get some drinks. Let me, yeah.
But it's a job, you see. That night for you, it was a job, and
Yeah.
that's why I don't do it, because I know it's a job. You have
Yeah.
to show up like at work, like
Yeah,
okay.
it's a romantic interview.
Yeah, it's a job. It's a
Yeah.
job. And tonight, okay, I'm at dinner. I'm stuck here now. I have to do my work, be
Yeah.
nice and not offensive, and then it's a job.
It happens. It happens. And like, there's so many other stories. Some guys say they're looking for one thing, but they don't actually
They
want
don't,
it.
yes.
And, you have to kiss
Get
a lot
to
of
know-
frogs. Yeah.
Polina Porizkova said that she
Yeah.
married. She was married to a famous singer, and he died. And they were my customers
Oh,
when I
no
was
way.
working as hostess. They were clients, and he died. And then she shared her journey on the Instagram, and she said you have to kiss a lot of frogs. And now she's with a guy, with a rider. She seems
Yeah,
happy,
yeah.
But that's what she said, and she was on the app, supermodel on the app.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. be,
No, I'm not worried. I know, like, life has a funny way of
Oh
working things
yeah,
out.
maybe
Yeah.
you stay on the apps for months and months, and then when they at the coffee shop,
Exactly.
you meet
Yeah,
someone,
that's how
'cause
it happens.
Destiny.
Yeah. I think it's more about being open.
Yeah.
To it, and
Yes,
you
yeah.
try a bunch of different ways of meeting people, and you never know what's gonna stick.
Yes,
So
something
just to
is
be
gonna.
flexible,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like. Okay, let me see here. Yeah. I want to talk about other recording that
Okay.
you did. The duo Apollon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aaron, with my dear friend Aaron.
Yeah.
So we actually met at USC,
Oh, you see.
and we started collaborating because there were some pieces for voice and guitar that Aaron is a credible guitarist. Aaron has.
Okay.
So we met at USC. He wanted to do some pieces for voice and guitar. We started rehearsing, and we started getting gigs, like recital gigs, and we were working together for a few years. We recorded an album together.
Yes.
And
We are gonna listen to
he's
something.
such a brilliant musician. He was able to transcribe pieces from piano that were originally for voice and piano, and he was able to transcribe it to guitar, which is, I mean, it's
A skill.
such a skill. It's incredibly difficult, and I really don't know anybody else who could do it as skillfully as Aaron. So I think he's a genius, and he's such an incredible player.
And you sing like Spanish songs with
Yeah,
him,
so
right?
I'm
Not operatic, just
Yeah, it's more art songs.
Art
so
songs.
kind of like the Cataldo pieces,
Okay.
where it's poetry set to music, but you sing it in a
Nice.
classical style.
in a classical, yeah. And then you also collaborate with the Greek trio.
Yeah, the Greek Rebetiko trio, which
F-
is
Greek folk music.
yes.
Yeah. What about movies? Since you are in Hollywood, you are beautiful, you have this super skill in the movies. Have you ever thought of being also, and you are an actress because you play all those characters in the operas. Have you ever thought of
Oh no,
being also an actress
no,
for
I have
movies?
no desire to be on film.
Not on film.
No.
What
Yeah.
about an opinion, the Callas movie? Because I loved it, but I'm not an opera singer. What do
I
people
didn't see
from-
it. I have to watch it. Yeah, I have to watch
okay.
it. But I'm also super open.
open?
Yeah,
Because
I
I'm
think-
not open when it comes to ballet, for instance.
No?
I don't, it has to be a real ballerina. It has to be a way or another. Personally, the Callas movies, I loved it. I was shocked. I thought I was not gonna like it because I'm like, they don't have a singer. But I think Angelina Jolie did an unbelievable
Yeah, I think she's an
work.
amazing actress.
She like brutally, and she made me love Callas, and they did a beautiful job with the voice, not hers, but of course, someone else is singing.
They mix it together,
they mix
right?
it.
Yeah.
Amazing, but it's like she delivered a great woman, and it was believable. But I would be curious to know what a real opera singer.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so-
But I mean, any time that there's a story about an opera singer that gets into the mainstream, I think it's always great for the art form as a whole.
Because like people get to but please watch it. I
Absolutely,
personally
I will.
loved it. Actually, I
Okay.
was shocked that she didn't win an Oscar. She was not even nominated.
And especially all that work of learning how to sing opera.
And how she did it, because you can learn. I'm not gonna mention anyone, but there are some actresses who learned the ballet, but
They didn't really learn.
you learn, and then I'm watching. I'm like, okay, like you didn't. That's it's okay.
Yeah.
And they build up a campaign around the fact that they did learn. They didn't.
Yeah.
But Callas, I mean Angelina Jolie. When I watched her, I was like, she
learned.
She touched me, and
Yeah.
also I don't know, like she delivered an unbelievable woman. Because for the ballet movies, sometimes they learn, but then they don't even deliver a great ballerina like the woman. But Callas really arrived to me personally. I really fell in love with Callas through Angelina Jolie. So you'll tell me, off camera
watch it.
once,
Okay.
And just a silly question: who are your heroes in the opera world or in the pop music, or who did you look up to?
Oh my gosh, I'm the worst person to ask this question because I feel like I don't really idolize
That's a good thing.
anyone. I mean, there's so many artists that I admire and I think they're amazing and look to them for different reasons. But in terms of like, I want to be like this person, no. I don't
That's
feel
a
like that
good
with
thing.
anybody.
I grew up instead wanting to be like anybody but myself, and that actually derails you, pushes you off track.
Yes.
Yeah, to have inspirations is great, but to have too many inspirations and wanting to be like somebody else actually can demoralize you or make you become someone you're not. So you were your own idol.
And it kind of, you're right, it derails you. It kind of blinds you to any opportunities on your own path because you think, this person did this. I have to have my path exactly the same way.
Yes.
And then you miss so many beautiful opportunities.
Or even artistically, I have to be like her. And if I'm not, I'm nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I idolize
That's
anybody. Yeah.
That's actually, could that be maybe for any artist in Hollywood, not only in the singing world, but, actors, dancers, painters, anyone, could that be like if I ask you what's an advice for a Hollywood dreamer, could that be maybe the key advice?
Yeah, definitely. And then
Especially in the celebrity culture where we are like,
don't idolize
bombarded.
celebrities, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Be your own idol.
Yeah, and then I would say that skill that I learned from Cynthia is to really self-reflect and never stop self-reflecting because every part of your journey will be so different, and if you don't know how you're feeling in the inside, it's really easy to get swept up in the chaos of life.
Do you have any technique of self-reflection? Do you take time to meditate? Do you journal? Or you just, as you drive, you talk to yourself, you observe your emotions? How do you keep yourself in check?
I journal a
emotionally?
lot.
Okay.
I meditate. I love working out. Just things to take care of. I love taking care of myself, like eating really well. I think those are all really important things. But journaling is a great way to learn what's going on in your head, but you have to be really honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and going back to even the first thing that you said about the piece that I wrote on Instagram is like
That's
going
beautiful.
like understanding your shadow.
Yeah.
And being comfortable with those dark feelings because we all have them.
Yeah, so I am good on my path when I say that for money I would steal and
Exactly.
murder.
Yeah. Like you're
I'm
so
honest.
open with your shadow. Yeah, and that's a beautiful way to be. And some people are so scared of their shadow. And there's moments where I've been so scared of mine, and I think it's really important. That's why journaling is so important because you get to befriend the shadow that we
Yeah.
all have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And what about a mistake that you maybe made, or you feel like someone could easily do here in Hollywood, and that you can avoid, and how to avoid it?
I think here it's so easy to get mixed up with people that will derail you from your true purpose.
I agree.
You know, there's so much
Coming at you.
craziness happening in LA.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people from so many different walks of life. And,
Yeah.
you know, as much as I would like to think, oh yeah, everybody's great. I mean, there are some people that truly are not good and will take you off of your path.
And they sell themselves really, really well.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that to the point that I wish I was one of them. And don't get me wrong, I can be mischievous like the spinner, but
Yeah.
I know I bring good at heart, even when. But there are people who, in a very, I don't know, it's an art, and I feel like those people are like the soulless one, that somehow they, because they are soulless, or I don't know, maybe it's too judgmental to say soulless, but they're less soulful than a real artist. Somehow they have less to lose, and they have less vulnerability, and that allows them to come through smoother socially, so it's easier to buy into them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you agree with that?
I totally agree. And I think that, like, behind that,
Yeah.
lack of vulnerability is sadness. That's
Sadness.
not like that they're so disconnected from. Yeah.
So soulless, sadness,
yeah.
And there's this word that everybody uses, sociopath, but I am a sociopath maybe too, so I don't know, I don't want to call them sociopaths, because I'm like, maybe I'm too, even I don't want to get into society, but the whole society actually is sociopathic to me, but I don't want to get there in general. But yeah, so I don't want to call them sociopaths, because maybe I'm a sociopath. That's why I call them more soulless or sad. So you think there's sadness behind,
Absolutely. And I
behind
think
but that gives them really an access to good looks. I don't know, and
yeah, I mean, I think there's also so much pressure to be happy and perfect and good all the time, and life is not like that. Like, the good doesn't exist without the bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need both. And I'm the same way. I don't like to diagnose, like, oh, sociopathic. I like to keep it simple. You know, like, if I see sadness in somebody's eyes, like, and they're that way, and they move smoothly, and they don't care who they're hurting, I think it's so simple. I don't say, oh, this person's a narcissist, this person's a sociopath. I say, oh, this person is deeply sad, and, they are so blinded by it and so disconnected to it that they don't even realize that they're sad. This conversation is going to a crazy place.
No, it's not crazy. It's important because there are. I'm just thinking about it, because I was wondering if that's what I saw looking back at those people. If I saw sadness or sadness, what else did I see? I remember they were coming off as smooth to me, and somehow they were
Super
able
smooth.
The smoothness. I know I'm very edgy, and even a little bit frantic, and I remember they were smooth, and I wish I could be that smooth, and somehow I bought into that smoothness, but it's not until it was not smooth, and then I realized that behind that smoothness there's the dangers, while behind my frankness or weirdness or vulnerability, at the end of the day there's someone you can call in the middle of the night, and I fix, I deliver. So
and sadness also, I think, not only are they sad but scared.
It's the fear,
because
fear.
in order to be vulnerable, you have to be brave. In order to reflect and understand your shadow and be okay with it, you have to be brave enough to face it.
Absolutely.
And it's scary.
In order to be an artist and go through the craft and be judged by others and work with others, you have to be
or even
courageous,
a human that just wants to have a basic understanding of themselves, or like a more in-depth understanding of themselves. Like, you have to be comfortable and brave enough to see the dark side. And sometimes those people that are, you know, smooth and quote unquote what we don't call good people, they're just scared. They're just scared to like see a part of themselves that they think is bad.
Until then it comes out and you
Yeah,
see and you
yeah.
and you see it. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
great.
and I'm like, I don't want to be the person to tell you that you got issues, so I'm just gonna run away.
Exactly, that's what I learned. But now I try to avoid it, and I feel like the more I trust myself and my instincts, actually, the more I end up with the right people.
Exactly, and that's something like really
maybe the tip for Hollywood dreamers. The more you know yourself and trust yourself, the more you'll choose your crowd.
Exactly, and that's something I find really beautiful about being friends with artists. Whether they're painters or filmmakers or any type of artist, I think in general we're a bit more honest with ourselves.
Yes, we can be crazy too.
We're crazy. Yes, we're fully crazy.
Sensitive and honest. Definitely. Okay, usually I have flowers, and today I forgot. I forgot. I just had
coffee.
I
love
was
coffee.
the coffee.
It's amazing.
It was
so good.
But I'll come to one of your performances with the flowers. We'll meet again at Vasco's house.
Yes, that was fun.
That's if I get invited. I don't know.
Same. I was just invited through a friend.
But the ones who don't know, Vasco Rossi is a big Italian rock star, and he has a house here in the Hollywood Hills, and there are some very nice parties. And
that's where we met.
Well, no, we met before when you sang for Petra and Eris.
Yes, at
the
party.
Founders of Hollywood Ballet, and they're
Are you still with Hollywood Ballet?
No, we went separate ways after one year together. It was a very interesting experience, and you know, it was a little bit of a marriage, a little bit of a divorce. But you know, we are in good terms, and it was an overall good Hollywood experience. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot. You go through a lot, but it was definitely a good experience, and I wish them the best. They have a performance this coming Saturday. Yeah, well, I'll come to one of your performances.
Please do, yes. I would love to see you.
And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're gonna play some more music now.
Okay, so we can just
this beautiful girl, Anastasia Malliaras.
Thank you for having me, Liliana. Thank you.
Ecco, brava.
Brilliant.